The No Fakes Act would hold individuals or companies liable for producing non-consensual digital replicas.
There's actually a new act being introduced by lawmakers that's called the No Fakes Act.
Yeah. So according to the independent U.S. lawmakers, there's been some lawmakers that have introduced No Fakes Act, which stands for Nurture, Original, Foster, Art, and Keep Entertainment Safe. In other words, no new age bootleg, because that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's new age bootlegging. You know what I'm saying? And it comes into response to advanced generative, which is artificial intelligence, tools that are able to create realistic deepfakes from a single photo or voice recording. If passed into law, the No Fakes Act would hold individuals or companies liable for producing non-consensual digital replicas, while platforms like Instagram and X would also be liable for hosting unauthorized deepfakes. The bill would... Let's just stop right there. We already know what we talking about. We talking about digital bootlegging, aka
digital bootlegging.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with them trying to stop it. It's very dangerous, you know, and especially if we aren't talking about exclusively in the entertainment atmosphere. Like I saw a political ad that was, you know, had an AI voice of a candidate just talking about themselves negatively with no type of disclaimer underneath. So the AI and the things that they're capable of doing and what they're capable of manipulating with, it is a slippery slope. There needs to be some kind of checks and balances in place for it, definitely.
100%. Yeah, and that's it. Go ahead.
And then from an artist's perspective, of course, you want to protect the artist's rights with their intellectual property, their name, image, and likeness. You can't just have, like, you know, it seems like it's a Wild West era right now when we have this new technology that a lot of people are exploring the limits with, and that's when it gets dangerous. If you have people that their main goal is to see how far they can take a new realm of technology, but they don't have the moral scruples in order to keep themselves in check and act with dignity at the same time while still being creative. So definitely something needs to be done, and as far as some sort of governance as far as to what the content that's coming out is being created, especially artificial content or digitally created content using artificial intelligence.
100%. I want to share this too. Corey, you were gonna say this, but that bill, if it passes, will prevent a person's likeliness from being digitally replicated without their consent during their lifetime and for 70 years after death. Right?
So like copyright.
Like a copyright. So we kind of asked that question earlier, right? Like, what protections do we have to protect our own personal copyright? There it is right there. There it is right there. They're pushing these acts and bills to protect, I mean, ourselves and our own personal images. And we need that to Asante's point.
Yeah, we need that. And we also need to, they're going to have to be fine-tooth combs under that too, because after 70 years, nobody want to see their great-grandpa or somebody who made an impactful in their family on the screen being manipulated by a generative AI. Because just think about it. What if we're the ones, and we possibly can be the ones that set our generations that come after us in a different financial field, right? And then they have a big picture of, 40 years later, 100 years later, where I'm going on to glory. They got a picture of me in their house saying, that's my papa who became really, really famous in this world and became a billionaire in entrepreneurship. And now they see his image and likeness on TV acting a plumb fool.
Yeah.
It's been 70 years past. There got to be some type of, ways where you can incorporate that into a family trust or something where it still can be able to go on past the years that you've been alive.
Good point. And you know what, too? I want to share this quote from Senator Coons. He's the senator that introduced the bill. His quote was, "Everyone deserves the right to own and protect their voice and likeness, no matter if you're Taylor Swift or anyone else." So to your point, you may not been famous in, say, like Hollywood or anything like that, but I think you just brought up a real good point, Corey, that everyone should probably have this in their living will or trust or something like that, because you never know, right? Someone say what?
The NFL just announced that all 32 stadiums have like this face tracking technology that they can zoom in and identify anybody. Who's to say that we're not going to be in Madden 26? You know what I'm saying? As the
Good
audience
point.
or the crowd, if you go to an NFL game, and then how do you deal with that? So you don't got to wait 70 years. We just saw it with Tupac on a Drake song not that long ago.
Yep, you're not lying. And the Tupac estate was like, take that down. You got to pay up.
Like,
yep.
I don't know why he thought that would be okay anyways. Like, who's like
for that?
Well, I mean, because they not like us. That's the reason.
Maybe they not, like,
not in the slightest.
So, and also this proposed law is addressing technologies like OpenAI's DALL-E, Adobe Firefly, and Midjourney. So, we've been talking about like, you know, some of our elders being replicated, right? And there's actually companies, we kind of touched on this briefly when we had Sarah here, but there are companies that are pushing out services like digital afterlife services. So basically, they're creating these things called dead bots, where you could commission them to basically create a digital representation of a lost loved one, and it can basically just be there for you no matter what. And that's one of the things to where that article was talking about. They're trying to protect people from that, right? And there's a term that I just learned called unwanted digital haunting. They're trying to stop people from being getting digital haunted unwillingly, right? It's a new world we live in, man.
So what you saying? They gonna have...
You know, I wonder. I was trying to figure out. I was like, let me kind of bring my 2 cents in here for a second. I agree with what y'all are. Let me preface my statement with saying I agree with what you're saying, especially you, Corey. Like, we need to be able to protect that original artist content. Nobody should be doing voiceovers and making other people think, oh, this person said this when it was fake. And, you know, including to what Fetty said, you know, especially with political candidates and stuff, you can start a whole World War III just because, you know, somebody put up some crappy content. They chopped up, you know, bits and pieces of what somebody may have said, and they've created it to make it sound like this just happened. And then before you know it, like, stuff starts blowing up. But then too, like, I'm wondering, what if you have people coming out saying, oh, well, if you do this, then it's going to infringe on your First Amendment rights, right? So where your First Amendment rights, your freedom of speech come from, I don't think the original founding fathers saw things the way that we see things now, right? So what all does?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's like what all. I just wonder if you're gonna have people come out and be like, oh, well, this is infringing on like your freedom of speech and stuff. I'm like, well, where does that? You know, how does that?
Yeah, like Fetty said, that is a very slippery slope.
It is. No, hands down, super slippery slope. That could open up so, you know, a huge Pandora's box.
Common sense for me was that, you know, the freedom of speech would default to the original person. You know what I'm saying? Like, my freedom of speech I can't use your words and say and claim that it's freedom of speech while violating yours or misrepresenting words or something that you said. So that's a different conversation to have. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people might try
I'm not saying I agree with that, because I don't. Just like you said, that freedom of speech is for that original. That original person for sure.
We're definitely in new territory. We're in new territory. And that's one of the reasons why we started this show, was to try to help each other figure this out. Because we gotta, you know, kind of guide the youth. You know what I mean? Like, if we're not passing on this knowledge and info and these perspectives to them, man, things, what you said, something could happen with them that could spark the next world war out of something that wasn't even real. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
And it spreads like wildfire on social media, not just in the United States, but like it hits global very quickly. Very quickly.
We talked about that at one point in time on the show. We talked about, what if somebody uses somebody else's voice for you know, for harm than good. And think about it like this: if somebody said, yeah, I killed the whole school. I blew them up, right? And it's not your voice.
Yeah.
That ain't nobody going to go, is this real? No, we just gonna arrest him and find the fuck out. And you feel what I'm saying? The problem is somebody is taking away from their family off of what somebody else did. You know what I'm saying? Which they just use digital malice. That could be the catalyst.
Digital
That's
malice.
like a whole nother set of laws.
Yeah. You know, this whole time when y'all was talking, the question that popped up to my head was, do we need like a digital constitution, like an updated constitution to protect digital rights?
I don't feel so. I feel like the original Constitution is good enough. You know what I mean? Like, no matter the media or the expression, that's like saying that you would need a new Constitution for video presentation or for audio recording. The same rules apply no matter the media.
I have a feeling too that if we even open up that gate, people are going to be like, oh, while we're at it, why don't we add this to the Constitution too?
Yeah.
And then before we're like, oh, hold on, it's like, come on now, like we were just talking about this, but here you are, went over here in this field, and we're not trying to go there.
Yeah.
But we already got people trying to.
But I agree.
So
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
What did you say, Petty?
I'll just say we already got people that's trying to attack the Constitution. So
yeah, tell me about it.
We got Dr. Poole on IG said it would be an amendment, and right after I said it, I thought about that too. Yeah, an amendment, more laws. Yeah, good point. Yeah, definitely. I see a digital amendment coming.
I thought you were about to say, I see dead people. I'm about to say, please.
Hey. Hey, good point, Dr. Poole. Thanks for setting me straight. So, yeah, I mean, good thing is we got people representing us that are in touch, right, that are trying to protect us. Kudos to Texas, right, because Texas set the precedent. We needed that. We need
hopefully California follows suit, because
hopefully.
You know what I'm saying? That's what one of the things about the actors strike last year was about, because digital protection and AI, generative AI, and some actors actually signed something saying that they can use their image and likeness in a generative AI. The only thing about it is they're going to get paid like Spotify, which everybody who knows in the music industry, they only get paid they get a cent per $1,300.
Man, that's one of the reasons why I quit music.
Man.
Keeping it real. How am I supposed to make a living off of that? So I think we all agree, man, we need those laws stay on. And you know what? With this political, where we are politically, right? I feel like that should be something we should be demanding from the candidates, local, at all levels. Like what are you doing to protect our digital images? I definitely feel like that should be something that should be addressed, and we should be demanding that as constituents. You know what I mean?
When you have one party that's basing their whole campaign off of putting out misinformation, you're gonna have some blowback against that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you have a party that wants to control the narrative and not base anything on truth, of course, I feel like they would be against any type of restrictions on them putting out whatever message that they want to receive or they want to put out.
And if that's the case, I mean, politics is quid pro quo, man. What's in it? You want my vote? What you gonna do for me? And I feel like collectively we need to be like, I demand you protect my digital image. That got to be one of the things you offer me if you want my vote.
Hey, listen, I've said that before. When it comes down to it, it is not. It's two things. It is not black versus white. It is wrong versus right, and it is us versus them. Because there's a whole group of people who are putting out laws that they themselves don't have to follow. That is not leadership. You would never catch me telling a soldier to go do something that I myself did not already do first. That is not leadership. And I for one ain't gonna follow blindly to that type of BS, because that's exactly what it is, y'all. It is all of us versus them.
I'll take
to your point
that is democracy versus dictatorship at this point.